Hello and welcome to this edition of TMA's Farm Margin Talk. This is Devin Sherling, Grain Marketing Manager for TMA. So as we look at our Farm Margin Index for September 20th, 2012, what we experienced in the marketplace also showed up in our Farm Margin Index, with corn being down $35 an acre of profitability on irrigated and $17 on dry land, while irrigated soybeans were the biggest mover down this week, being down $85 an acre of profitability, while dry land was down $46, and wheat stayed relatively neutral, only being down $5 an acre of potential profit. But when you look out to that 2014 arena, we really saw very little activity compared to the upfront months. And once again, this is how we come up with these numbers, more of a micro view of the new crop profitability based off of cash prices at Groveland, Kansas. So when asked what's going on right now, this is the picture going around most of central Kansas right now, which is our 2013 wheat is going in the ground right now. And I know last week when I was officiating football up at Ellsworth, Kansas, I saw several fields that I could already row the wheat in. So wheat is going in the ground, and it appears to be going in the ground at a record pace right now. So we've been talking a lot about our wheat crop insurance base price. Well, that number became final this week at $8.78. So what does that mean to the producer? Well, if your APH is 47 bushels an acre and you chose an 85% policy and the base price is $8.78, you are guaranteed a gross revenue of $351 an acre. And if you made the decision to purchase the trend adjustment endorsement on there, what that did and this was on a field by field and farm by farm basis, but for the producer we ran those numbers on this afternoon, it actually increased his APH by 3 bushels an acre. And by doing that, he invested about $4 an acre to guarantee $22 more of gross revenue on his farm. So it made perfect sense for him. So make sure you talk to your crop insurance specialist about what decisions you need to make on your operation. And so when you put that $8.78 base price, I like to put this into TMA's profit matrix. And as you can see here on the left-hand side, we have all of our expenses, including the expense for this producer at $24.40 for an 85% revenue protection policy. And as you can see, his APH is 47, which guarantees him 40 bushels an acre to forward contract if he likes. Using today's closing prices, this is the producer's profit picture. So as you can see, if he grows 100% of his APH and the cash price that stays at $8.29, he's going to be in that $91 an acre of profitability. But if the price drops and we're in one of those poor yield situations, he's still going to be covered, being in this $30 to $32 an acre range in this low price, low yield corridor. But if he just chose the trend adjustment by spending that extra $4, and you can see over here, that's notated over here at $28.80, the producer changes his entire picture. He makes $10 an acre more here at the APH level because his APH is now raised up to 50 versus 47. But you can see that between 30 and 32 or 49 and 47, it makes a lot more sense, and it really helps raise our producers' safety nets on their operation. So once again, if you have questions, feel free to contact us, and we'll be happy to walk you through the trend adjustment process. But to take our step away from wheat and focus on a little bit of what's going on right now with our irrigated corn, I found this graph to be quite interesting. This shows the profitability on irrigated corn by crop year. And as you can see, the red line here is the 2012 crop year that we're just finishing up right now. The green line here is where we're at so far with 2013. And it's kind of interesting to look back that how closely we're mirroring this 2012 pattern right now. And as we keep having more people come out about having record acres of corn planted for the 13 crop and using trend lined or slightly above trend line yields, that's what happens to a profitability or a price chart, is we continue to trend lower there into that June timeframe when weather issues happened. And as you can see in 08 and 11, we had weather issues, but it was a buy the rumor, sell the fact type situation. And as we got into that harvest time frame, we saw our prices correct from time to time. So by no means does this make go out and sell your 2013 corn, but what I want you to look at is what profit's available today and how that looks for your operation. So what's causing the market to move? Harvest pressure. Everyone's getting a little bit more corn and beans than they were expecting throughout this harvest process. It may only be going from 70 to 100 bushels when you're used to having 180 bushel dryland corn, but it's still more grain than what we were expecting and what the market feels like it already had priced in. And then continue to watch our world weather as well as weather here is helping drive our marketplace. So for more additional information, feel free to contact our TMA grain marketing or crop insurance specialist. Thank you and have a great week.